all. So it's already 7. So as we all know that today we are here to talk about how to manage stress. Like during these COVID times, we all know that these are harsh times, and we all are facing some of the. We all are hearing different kind of news, stressful news of COVID. Somebody getting affected, somebody is no more in our like vicinity or in our relatives. So if we talk about myself, I lost my 3 relatives in past 3 months. So like I have felt one thing, that it is very important to manage stress and to just be focused on your mental health. So to discuss that particular aspect, so we have Akriti Goel with us, uh, uh, who is a counseling psychologist. So let me just give you a brief about her, what she does, and what is her expertise. So she is founder of two ventures, co-founder of two ventures. One is Psychvoyancce, and another is Cognitive Scholars. In Cognitive Scholars, she deal with all the psychological concern and counseling. And another like venture of her, Psychvoyancce, she deals, so like she's into multiple things. So she is into numerology, tarot card reading, angel and Reiki healings, and Vastu consultancy. So today we'll be discussing how to manage stress in these particular times, because it is very important. I have felt it myself, and I know that you people should, we don't know that we are under stress after hearing a lot of sad news from all around the corners. So, Akriti, like if we talk about, we know that these situations are
Yeah.
very hard, right? So, like,
Yeah.
should so what? First of all, I would like you to share your experience about these traumatic times, because trauma is everywhere. We are hearing news on internet, we are hearing news on TV channels, and from all across on WhatsApp and like
Yeah.
everywhere. So what is your view on to this?
So, so first of all, I would like to thank you, Abhishek, for bringing me on this platform, bringing us live, so that we can talk about mental health and make people aware about it, that how important it is at the current situation. And now moving towards your question, talking about my own experience, my mother have herself suffered from COVID for a very critical, from a very critical situation she has survived. And honestly speaking, she is a kind of a person who keeps herself more into a locked space, and she takes care of her health very much. Yet we all were really shocked to find out that she was COVID positive.
Okay.
So by this, I can why am I telling you this is because we can make out that during that time slot, it was in the month of during September in 2020,
Mhm.
and that was the peak time when COVID was hitting all of us, the
Yes.
entire country, I must say the entire world. And like you just mentioned, we are hearing all these things through the news channels, through WhatsApp, through Facebooks, any social media, we pick it up. And I think by hearing it again and again, again and again, maybe it is hitting us mentally more in comparison to the physical aspect, which I've
Absolutely.
done, yeah, which my mother has actually faced it off. Possibly, by again and again hearing the news, the losses, the deaths, and everything that actually affected her mind. And somewhere down the line, it is actually affecting or everyone around the world.
Mhm.
And everyone is more focusing on how many deaths are there, how many cases have increased, all these things are being discussed. But everyone is not focusing on a positive aspect, that how are we also recovering through it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
So I think we need to change a little bit of a perspective of viewing certain things. Fine, having a pandemic in a country, in the entire world, is not a new situation. Possibly, we've been knowing this thing that every 100 years a pandemic is hitting the world. So
Right.
basically, we need to focus on how to deal with it rather than focusing on how it is affecting us.
Right.
And now, honestly speaking, everyone is talking about it is affecting us financially, maybe some might be affecting us physically,
Mhm.
and but everyone is accepting it that okay, COVID has made our businesses down, COVID has made our health down. Because of COVID, deterioration of health, we have lost our family members and everything.
Mhm.
But how many of us are actually talking about that? Yes, it is affecting me mentally as well.
Mhm.
Even if I am not a COVID sufferer, still I am stressed, I am depressed. And that stress, I have displaced it with a meaning saying I'm financially not stable right now. That's why I am stressed.
So,
We
Akriti,
are
I
not,
have a
yeah.
question here. So,
Mm-hmm,
that question is like you rightly said that even if we are not hit physically by COVID, we all
mm-hmm,
are hit mentally by COVID. So,
yeah.
how would we people be knowing that we are under stress? Because let me tell you, so I have faced this particular problem myself, like
Mm-hmm,
after these recent deaths in our family. So,
mm-hmm,
like, yeah, what is happening with us, and even if we have all the resources, we are not able to save our people. So,
yeah, true.
and like I was not able to do my work properly and all. I was somehow feeling that I was under stress, but how to actually measure that like we are under stress and we need to talk with someone about this particular situation which is happening with us. I guess like 90% of the people do not discuss these kind of things with anyone, even
Yes,
even
absolutely correct.
dear ones and all. So please just tell
See,
us,
with the
like.
Yeah. See, Abhishek, with the question you've asked, you've answered it yourself that I was not having anyone to talk about it.
Mhm,
You were not able to focus on your work.
mhm,
But if you were not able to focus on your work, can you just tell me one thing first, that you faced three deaths in your family, right?
mhm,
That and that means you were in a denial phase. That's why you started focusing on your work. You tried to focus on your work.
mhm.
Was there an acceptance from you that okay, I've lost my family members, I am sad, I am distressed, and it has affected me emotionally?
Mhm.
But to how many people you have talked about it? Talking is the best therapy. That is the only thing which you should do. Talk it out.
So Akriti, like here again, we are discussing this thing, and what I have felt that what people like obviously in our close circle, we don't want to talk about these things because they are also dealing with the same thing.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
cannot even like we also like just refrain ourselves to talking to our friends. So what will they think?
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, iska to aisa hi hai." So these are
Yes.
some of the things which came up in our mind. So what is the best way to do this? Is there
Talk
any?
to a stranger. Yeah, the best way is talk to a stranger. See, we are not talking to our friends. I agree. We are not talking to our relatives. Possibly they themselves are also distressed because of the losses the family as a whole are facing.
Mhm.
Talk to a stranger with whom you will feel the other person will not judge me. Because when we talk about our emotions, like, when we are expressing our emotions, then possibly we have a fear that we will be judged by the other person.
Right.
Right, like in our society, like in Indian society, let's talk about Indian society first. In Indian society, we have this perception, ladke rote nahi hain,
Mhm.
and girls are supposed to suppress their emotions. Then
Okay.
why so? We all have the right to live freely. We all are human beings. We all face some emotions. We all need we all need someone to at least talk about it. But
Yes.
if you're not ready to talk to a family, we can definitely go to any therapist. Now, going to a therapist doesn't mean that you are mentally not stable.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean at all. This is
It's
the
a big,
biggest taboo.
it's, yes, absolutely. This is one of the biggest taboo in our society that if we go to a psychologist or a therapist, what will
Yes,
people think of? And obviously, people are the secondary things. What so
yes,
we don't accept ourselves for going to therapist
absolutely,
and psychologist.
absolutely right. Like,
Being like, felt.
absolutely correct, Abhishek. Like, being an individual before getting into this profession, I myself was used to think that okay, going to a psychologist means that I'm mentally ill, so that's why I have to visit to a psychologist. But that's not true. Going to a psychologist is very important, and it is not that you're moving to a psychologist only when you're mentally sick. Just you should not reach to that situation, then also you can visit to a psychologist. If you will keep on refraining, or you can keep on denying your emotional expressions, you will keep on thinking that, like, no, I'm not sad, I need to deal with this situation, I need to deal with this situation.
Right.
This thing can temporarily help you, but then it can eventually lead out to a permanent problem, which cannot be sorted by at an individual level. And then eventually you will get into the medications, you will get into other eventual problems, maybe interpersonal problems, your relationships can get hampered, all these problems are going to occur. So don't you think that the best solution is that slowly and steadily, as soon as we are having a bad bent of mind, emotional outburst or something like that, we should visit to a person, to a stranger, take it out in front of a stranger who's not going to judge you, and come back with a refreshed mind, so that you have the capability to at least deal the situation. Obviously, visiting a psychologist may or may not solve your problem, but
Mhm.
it can definitely give you a new strength to face the problem.
Absolutely. So one more thing, Kriti here,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
uh, where should we? So obviously, we, in our society, if we
Hmm.
talk about maximum of people, we don't want to go to psychologists simply.
Yeah, true.
There is a financial concern as well, because if we talk
Very right.
about today's scenario, I guess almost everybody of us is affected to some point. And
Absolutely correct.
we cannot, so okay, an entrepreneur can go to a psychologist, that is one thing. So
Hmm.
he can spend money, or like obviously he can book a session. And there are so many other volunteer
Yeah.
organizations which are like helping them in I would say that mental health, they are conducting
Hmm.
sessions as well. But what to do with the like housewives as well, or
Hmm.
people like who are at home, who are mentally stressed, but they cannot
Hmm.
just talk about that, and they cannot even go to the psychologist. So they
Yeah, true.
think about that. So how those people can deal with this situation, this stressful situation?
See, that's a very good query you've raised,
One more thing,
Abhishek.
I guess they cannot even talk to strangers. So
Yeah,
that
I
is
got it.
thinking.
See, for that, yeah, that's a very good query you've raised out over here. For that, Abhishek, first of all, if we are specifically talking about those people who cannot visit to a psychologist, who cannot talk to strangers, and who are not maybe allowed, or finances are not allowing them to visit to a psychologist, or whatsoever the reason is,
Mhm.
they will have to talk to their relatives, their immediate family members. They have to express themselves to some or the other odd person. See, let's just take an example. Now you are distressed about certain XYZ things, right? And you don't have anyone. You have a taboo in your mind. No, I'm not going to go to a psychologist. So
Mhm.
you might be having your parents, your brothers, your sisters, someone on this planet whom you are comfortable with.
Mhm.
Go to that person, say that you're not fine. Accepting this thing that we are not okay is
Mhm.
very, very important. You have to take out an emotional outburst in front of them.
Mhm.
Maybe they might judge you, but it's their thinking, right? Let them think this way. Just free out yourself. It's very important for you to do that. Just with the fear of being judged by someone. You
Mhm.
cannot keep on suppressing your emotions, and eventually you'll end up nowhere. You'll
Absolutely.
end up with no relations around. Because when one is stressed, one is depressed. Depressed is a very, very big term.
Mhm.
If you become depressed, then you will actually not have anyone around you.
Mhm.
Physically, yes, there might be your family, there might be your children, there might be your friends, but mentally, no one will be there to support you,
Right.
right? So, for this, the only and the best solution is that you need to be expressive. And it's okay to express your emotions through aggressive behavior, through emotional outbursts, cry it out, laugh it out, whatever.
Mhm.
This is one solution. But yes, a lot of people might think that, okay, no, I can't do this. Then the second best thing is go for a self catharsis session. Now, what is a self catharsis session? That's a, like, a psychological term, of course. But then doing self catharsis is very important. Self catharsis in general means venting out your emotions. If you can't vent out your emotions to people, vent it out in your own way to yourself.
I
Don't
guess this
keep it.
can, I guess this can be a very beneficial thing for all of us, because
Yeah,
everyone will not. There will be some people who will refrain themselves for talking to their relatives as well. So this can be
exactly.
a very good point. Self catharsis can be a very good thing for
Yes,
all.
self catharsis indeed is a very good thing. Now, everyone can have a different technique of self catharsis. A lot of my clients come to me and say, Ma'am, how to do a self catharsis session. We don't know in what domain we feel relaxed, in what thing we'll think that we'll be able to express our feelings to ourselves. Because you know what, Abhishek, eventually we are denial with ourselves also for the emotions.
Mhm.
No, I'm not feeling bad for this. I don't have to feel bad for this. This is life. It happens with everyone.
Mhm.
Agreed, it happens with everyone, but you need to face it. You don't need to suppress it.
Right.
And doing self catharsis is the best way. For to do that, you just have to find out one way which will give you, which will bring you in a situation where you are not thinking anything. Usually people call it as meditation, but
Mhm.
I feel meditation is not always a solution.
Okay.
Reason being, already I am so much burdened in my head.
Mhm.
How can I force myself to suppress everything and focus on relaxation?
Mhm.
That's again a situation of denial.
Yeah.
Maybe at that moment of meditation, you might feel relaxed, but after that, you will feel uneasy. And then people say, I like to be in the state of meditation. But meditation is something which will have a permanent effect.
Mhm.
It is nothing you like, it vanishes out after 1 hour or 2 hours. If it is doing, if meditation is doing such thing to you, then it is not working out for you. So
Mhm.
you need to find out an alternate workout.
So how can we,
Workouts.
Akriti, how can we find
Hmm.
out that alternative? Because that
See,
is the question, that how can we find that one thing where we can will be bursting out and venting our emotions to get stable.
hmm
So can
see,
you
that's what I'm
how
saying.
to dive
Yeah,
into it?
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. We need to find it for ourselves. Okay, I'll share my experience with you about it. I whenever I'm a psychologist, people say that you listen to everyone. So why there is a need for you to like for a catharsis session? But I'm also a human being, right?
Mhm.
After having a lot of emotional negativity from everywhere, I also need to vent out my feelings.
Right.
So what I do is I go, like, I'm living in a city where there is a lake, and I go over there early in the morning and I listen to water noises, nature noises, birds chirping, and that brings me to a situation where the world is stopped for me.
Mhm.
I just like being in that situation. Sometimes I cry out at that particular situation. Sometimes I have actually screamed also a lot of times. Sometimes I laugh, remember my good memories, and trust me, Abhishek, that have refreshed me a couple of times. So for me, the catharsis is spending time with myself in nature.
Okay.
Possibly, for some people, it can be listening to music. For some people, it can be just doing random exercises, working out. For some
Right.
people, can be reading books. Anything can be there. But one has to find out themselves.
So it's just like what it is different for different kind of people. So there is no
Yes.
such like standard formula that this will work for everyone, right?
No, no. The only standard thing is that you will achieve a state when you will feel the world is stopped for me over here. And I am enjoying myself over here. You're not having any thought, you're not having any emotion at that particular time. You just like to be with yourself. And
Okay.
you will have to give that time to yourself, which is also termed as me time, maybe.
Mhm.
like, you can term it as self catharsis session to be a me time for an individual. Now
Okay.
at that me time also, usually what we do, I have my this pending work, I have my that pending work. If you still have those pending works, do one thing, just note it down on a piece of a paper,
Mhm.
leave it at your home and just move out,
Okay.
so that when you when you are in your self cathartic mode, you will not have a stress that I will forget something. Why? Because you've already kept that thing in noted,
Okay.
right? So you will be a little relaxed. You
Mhm.
need to talk out to yourself.
Mhm.
Cry it out. It's okay. Crying is the best solution. Laugh it out, scream,
Mhm.
be aggressive,
Mhm.
throw out things here and there. It's absolutely normal.
Okay.
And in case, I want to add on over here, in case you cannot even do this,
Mhm.
you don't have time, like, like you just termed as housewives, maybe.
Mhm.
Today, I think they're the most busy people during the COVID times, because they
Absolutely.
have to take care mentally, physically, financially, in every domain they have to take care of their families. They
Absolutely.
are also frustrated. They are also very much into stress. So what they can do is they just take a piece of paper, write out their frustrations, cry it out while they're writing. They're feeling aggressive. Just just make a scribbles on the paper, take out your aggression, and then burn out that paper. This is little kiddish, but it actually works.
Kadesh,
It
as
actually does.
done it.
Yeah, that's what.
I
Yeah, but can you,
can do it.
yeah, can you just notice one thing? Just by saying this thing, you had a smile on your face.
Right.
Right. Now, just imagine when you'll do this, how relaxed you will feel.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
like, bringing out that kid inside you is very important. And that is the only thing which will make you relax.
So Akriti, like we are talking about, like we haven't
Hmm.
talked about kids at this particular time.
Hmm.
So maybe because we see like kids around us very cheerful, playful,
Yeah.
and they're not concerned. I guess that sometimes like they cannot even tell anything to anyone. So
Yeah.
are there are chances that kids are also affected by this particular thing? I think so. They are, but and what kids can do at this particular time?
See, for kids, there are a lot of things. And honestly, yes, you're absolutely right. Kids are very playful. They're very, like, bubbly. They like to go here and there, but they're restricted towards their homes.
Mhm.
Their schools are shut down. They're entirely in houses. Everything is online for them. Their learning is being hampered drastically, and maybe parents are so busy making out their homes that they are not able to even focus. That are their children attending their classes or not whatsoever?
Mhm.
For them, the best thing is indulging them into expressive arts. Now,
Okay.
expressive arts doesn't mean that they just are they're supposed to do drawings, they're supposed to do paintings or anything.
Mhm.
Expressive art means that just keeping themselves indulged into physical activities.
Mhm.
Maybe make them join into online dance class,
Mhm.
make them join into online art class.
Mhm.
Maybe, like, if they're good at writing, get them into calligraphy.
Okay.
Any such particular hobby they should be involved in, where their two things should be invested: one, physical activity, and the other, the mental activity.
Okay.
Because children these days are not studying through online.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
bring up their concentration back, we need to make them active physically and mentally.
Right.
And for that, we need to explore their interests,
Mhm.
because children will only get indulged if they are interested.
Okay.
Because, like, honestly, for me as well, I've attended a lot of online classes. Me as an adult, I need a lot of effort to focus during an online session,
Mhm.
to, like, and make notes and everything. So for children it is very tough. So for them it should be an area of interest for them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so expressive art is the only thing which children can, like, also ask them to express themselves through drawings, through paintings. That's the best way to do that. Like ask them to write down their essays, ask them to pen out their feelings,
Mhm.
teach their children. Over here, I'll just suggest everyone.
I guess you're muted, Kriti.
Oh yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I don't know, there was some.
Yes. You're audible.
Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that over here, I will really suggest one activity to all families to perform uh, gratitude therapy with their families. This is a very interesting thing, and
Mhm.
that will enhance the bond of children and parents.
Mhm.
What they have to do is ask each member of the family to cook something. Either it's a soft drink, just pour a soft drink in a glass of water, and they should sit every night for a dinner. Just perform this once a week, and they should all have a piece of papers in their hands. While having dinner, they should compliment each other on that piece of paper, and then they should keep on collecting those compliments, those
Yeah.
papers, right?
It
And
seems
whenever, yeah, whenever you're sad,
difficult as well.
yeah, matlab it's really good,
Yeah.
because like whenever, like for example, if I do that with my family, honestly speaking, and whenever I have an argument with my mother or with my father or with my sister or whatever, then what I do, I open up that box, I read that those compliments,
Mhm.
half of my frustration has been reduced automatically at that very moment.
Good for you.
Yeah. And like, you will, by this you will have a very strong connection with your family.
Mhm.
You will have a very strong connection with your own self as well,
Right.
and this will actually help and work
I need to try this.
out. You should definitely, Abhishek, and give me a feedback about it, what type of compliments you got. Yeah.
So, Akriti, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And like, I was thinking of one more thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
we talked very generally about like the COVID situation, how people can deal with the stress. So you mentioned about
Mm-hmm.
housewives as well, other people as well. Now, like again, like one more important thing, which is like technique my head, that so many
Mm-hmm.
people have lost their jobs. So many people are like in financial crisis. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of businesses are being shut. So
Mm-hmm.
we know that it is very hard to revive all the things to normal. But what is
Mm-hmm.
that one thing we all should do right now so that we should be out of this particular like financial stress? It is there. Obviously, it is there. We have faced this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
How to overcome that particular stress?
Okay. See, Abhishek, I'll mention one thing over here, that uh, thinking this way that everyone is facing that
Mhm,
is not a solution. This is a phase of denial.
mhm,
If you are facing it,
mhm.
that means you are dealing with it, and every individual is having their own bent of emotion towards it,
Right.
right? So, like, I will just suggest to those people two things. First, to don't forget that even if they lost their jobs, they have financial crisis, they are just facing it financially. Their efficiency has not gone anywhere.
Mhm. Right.
To be a little patient, yeah, they need to be a little bit more patient in acquiring things, like in setting up different things, but don't let your efficiency go down. Keep on practicing whatever profession you are into, and keep on, like, working towards that particular situation.
Mhm.
Nowadays, yes, people are losing jobs. Nowadays, people are facing financial crisis, but
Absolutely.
there are there is always an alternate for everything.
Mhm.
And like sitting back, cursing yourself, taking stress is not a solution. You need to adopt task oriented strategies to deal with the stress, that you need to work for it, you need to find an alternate, and you need to keep on exploring yourself,
Right.
right? Like, Okay, I get it. A lot, like a friend of mine, he lost his job and he just sat back, and he was stressed and he was like, no, I don't, I am worthless, I am doing this, I'm doing that. But eventually, what he did, he started photography as a passion, and in within the COVID time frame, taking care of certain things. What he started doing, he started clicking digital platforms, honestly. Yeah, and I'm not saying that he's earning as much as he was doing during his job, but at least he found out some type of an alternate to
Mhm.
at least survive the situation, to
Absolutely
deal the situation.
right.
Now, if I would have, he would have, like, if it would have been like this way that नहीं मुझे तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, I'm worthless, I've lost my job, what will people think about me, how am
Mhm.
I going to manage? So that was no solution, right? You need to keep on working, work task oriented. That's the only thing which people can do,
Mhm.
because losing job is not in their own control.
Right.
Yeah, but what is there in their control is that moving ahead with, okay, that there will be stress, there will be some problems as well, but eventually they will have to move on, they will have to keep them pushing up.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine, and that's very valid, Akriti, that we need
Hmm.
to find an alternative. We need to have a,
Yes,
obviously, if now, like last year, COVID has told us that you need to have a plan B and you need to keep moving.
exactly.
Uh,
Moving
like any situation can happen at any point in time. Like,
time. Yes,
like
yes,
flourished
that's
businesses
what.
have fallen down, and there have been so much losses of job, which people can't even think like 15 days back or so.
Exactly, absolutely correct. See,
So,
over here I would, yeah, please
yeah,
go
please
ahead, Abhishek.
go on. Please go on.
Over here I just want to say one thing. People are mainly focusing, like you just also have might have mentioned, on physical health and your finances. But along with this, I would request people not to deny about your mental health as well. If you're emotionally not fine, if you're mentally not fine, accept it and face it. That's the only solution. And trust me, if you will mentally be okay, mentally be fine, mentally be stable, then you will be able to manage your physical and finances as well.
Oh, right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a wonderful insight, and obviously, it is much more important at this point in time to
yeah,
keep
absolutely.
safe, be mentally strong.
Yes,
So COVID is not hitting us physically; it is hitting us mentally as well. People who
yes, absolutely.
got COVID, they are being anxious of getting COVID. So
Exactly.
it is one of the biggest problem that like I'm seeing in our people, and obviously I face some of this with myself as well, and
Mm-hmm,
luckily I got some good people in my network, like you are there are other people as
mm-hmm.
well, like whom
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
talk and like help myself obviously. And now Akriti, like it's been like over 30 minutes, and now
Okay. Oh, yeah.
we, so it's good, and thank you so much for your time.
It's
uh,
my pleasure, Abhishek.
one thing you wanted to tell people that okay, you can start this thing after this particular session, what that one thing will be, so that they should
Trust
be
yourself.
okay.
That's the only thing I would like to say, people. Explore, pen down, talk to yourself. If you don't want to visit to a psychologist, it's okay. If you don't want to talk to anyone, it's okay. But
Mhm.
at least be genuine to your own self about your own feelings.
So this
Yeah.
is again a very amazing insight that if you want to do one thing right now, and if you are dealing with something, guys, talk to yourself, and it works
Yes.
amazingly. And one more thing, like, so I would like to tell everybody of you that Akriti is there for you. Like, if you have something, if you want to share something,
Definitely.
she is helping us
Definitely.
out in our initiative and all to just help
Yes.
people during this COVID situation. So I'll be
Definitely.
sharing her link in this in the comment box below, so you people can reach out to her Instagram, and and you can like ask about her time when she is free, and she'll be keeping like 1 or 2 slots a day for us, and you people
Yes,
can,
definitely.
right?
For sure, Abhishek.
So
Thank you so much.
my pleasure, Akriti. And there will be so many comments and all in the on
Hmm.
boxes. So we'll try and answer, and you people can get
Sure.
Akriti as well. So
Please,
thank
definitely.
you so much. It's been a pleasure that you accepted our invitation to be here, and
And I was really glad to have an invitation from you. Thank you so much for inviting me for this conversation.
my pleasure always, Akriti. And guys, you know that like you have to reach. So I'll be sharing the links, and you can reach out there. And you can also tell
Yes,
me about like if you are dealing with someone, I can get you connected with Akriti as well. So there are other people on our panel like which are helping us to deal with this particular situation. If you
stress.
feel
Yes,
like feel that you have mental stress, or not mental stress, maybe like you have any kind of stress you want to share it with and deal with it, so tell us. We'll be connecting you with the relevant people with whom you people can easily connect without any judgment.
yes, sure.
So, thank you so much, Akriti. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Abhishek. Thank you so much once again.
who were with us for last 30 odd minutes. So thank you so much, and we'll be conducting our next session soon. So we'll be declaring that.
I will be definitely looking forward for it. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Take care, guys. Bye.
You too, bye bye.